Welcome to the NFL. Let's go! Let's go! Go!
Welcome in, everybody. It is week 8. It is the air quotes by Mageddon. We are here. Injuries galore on top of already so many teams on bye. Has really made this week a, for a lack of a better term, a crapshoot. Plenty of tough questions out there, some tough lineup questions. We are digging deep into these free agent pools and our rosters as well. So yeah, it's some chaos out there in the streets for us here in week 8, but we have some pretty plus matchups for some of the higher end fantasy players. So that's always a plus as well. So hopefully can help us buoy ourselves through there into some of the coming weeks. The biggest thing that we are looking for here is finding some fantasy points. And that's what we will go ahead and try to do for you. Housekeeping, pretty simple. Drop in the questions, whether it is on the start sit thread that I have had going all morning that I've been answering questions on. You can also obviously drop them in the comments here on Twitter. You can also drop them in on YouTube. If the comments on Twitter, sometimes they should pull up. Usually they do. If they don't, either way, I'll answer it. I'll direct it towards you. The questions, obviously, on the start sit thread will not be pulled up on the screen. I will just read them out, and then you can go ahead and listen for it. I'll give you the answer the best I can. Easiest way to get the answer is obviously here. Get you a little bit more of a deeper question or deeper answer, I should say. And we'll obviously follow along 11:30 or so inactive, stuff like that. Got some players to watch. Obviously, again, you got some of those late player windows. Matthew Golden's one of them. Whether they're going to play or not, you obviously want to have a secondary option. So check those waiver wires, add some players if you're going to try to hold out for Matthew Golden. Obviously, you can pivot to someone in the earlier windows. Makes life a little bit easier for you. You don't have to worry about it. As much as we like Matthew Golden, it hasn't really been there just yet for him. So I'm fine to pivot to some other players as well. So like I said, we're a little bit behind on the start sit thread, so I will go through and I will get as many of those answered. And then obviously as the questions come in, if you get the questions in now, I will get those first. And then we will go from there. But either way, let's dig in to week 8 and let's have a little fun here. Started out here with Les Chase GNG. Schultz, Jennings, A.O. Manor, full PPR league. I'm going to go Dalton Schultz. Heavily targeted the last few weeks. Add in no Nico Collins. Now you're relying on Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. Noel's a nice little dark start there as well. Guy that I've been pretty high on and I suggested a lot this morning. So hopefully Jalen Noel comes through for what I do predict here as a pretty decent week. But I do also like Schultz as well here. Should be targeted pretty well. 49ers have been pretty stout against tight ends here, but again, it's National Tight End Day. So we know these tight ends are going to see some usage here as well. So excited about that. But I'm going with Dalton Schultz there for you. Mike, Mooney, Shakir, or Golden. Again, Golden in this area here. I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney. Kirk Cousins against Miami secondary. Doesn't really, not a huge fall off there between Mooney or between Cousins and Penix. In my opinion, mobility maybe is probably their biggest factor. So I'm just going to ride with Darnell Mooney. I think this is a good spot for him, especially if Drake London does miss, which we should find out fairly soon. Derek, Rico Dowdle, Jalen Warren, or Ramondre Stevenson. Got to start one of them. It's going to be Jalen Warren. I know there's a lot of love for Rico Dowdle. Fair enough against my Bills defense. I shouldn't say mine. Against the Bills defense that I do root for. They have struggled against the running backs for sure. But you are seeing some Rico and some Hubbard involved. They're going to get some help here coming off of the bye week as well here for the Bills. I also anticipate the Bills to be a little bit of, let's get this thing right a little bit here coming off of the bye week. And if the Bills do get up early, Rico and Chuba Hubbard will probably be phased out of the game a bit. So I'm going to lean to Jalen Warren. I like that spot for him tonight against Green Bay in what is, I guess, the Aaron Rodgers revenge game, if you really want to call it a revenge game. But either direction, I do go Jalen Warren, top 15 option for me there at his position. Derek. Jake Metcalf or Kamara at flex. Two pretty strong smart starts there, Jake. I'm going with DK. I think he finds the end zone this week. I know the production hasn't totally been there, but again, leaning on Rodgers, kind of wanting to, we know how Aaron Rodgers is. And every old quarterback wants to kind of stick it to their old team, no matter how they left. So I do think that I'm going to go with Metcalf there for you this morning, Jake. Gil, good morning. Happy tight end day. It is tight end day. I'm ready to go for the questions. All right. Ultimately, start all the tight ends. I have way too many bets on tight ends. That's all I'm going to say today. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I win, maybe I don't. We'll see how it goes. That's the name of the game, folks. Gil, Mason Taylor, or Noah Fant. I'm going Mason Taylor. Like the spot from against Cincinnati. Cincinnati typically does allow tight ends to score. We just saw that against the Steelers. And Noah Fant in a decent spot against the Jets, but with no Sauce Gardner, you're going to see Chase and Higgins have their way. So I'm not totally in on Noah Fant this week. On the flip side, I do like Mason Taylor with limited options there in that Jets offense. David, how's it going? Good morning. Ouch. Quentin Johnston and Mason. Been there, done that. That one hurt. Quentin Johnston's straight up 0. So you don't have to be perfect, David. You just got to hope somebody else does bad. That's all that matters. Kincaid and Schultz. I'm going with Dalton Kincaid. I think as long as he's playing, the Bills are going to use him. He's kind of the cog that gets that offense rolling here in Buffalo. So I like Kincaid against Carolina. Good matchup for sure. Gus, Matthew Golden, or Tez Johnson. I'm probably rolling Tez with not knowing where we stand with Matthew Golden. If something comes out before the 1 o'clock window, then maybe we might hear something. They're talking about it on ESPN now. Still listed as questionable. I don't really think that we'll get a hard enough answer, Gus. So I would probably just pivot to Tez Johnson, like the spot against New Orleans. So I'm cool with that. No problem, Derek. No problem. Got another one. Kraft or Kittle. I'm gonna go Kraft. I like the spot against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh gives up touchdowns to tight ends. Saw it again last week. Noah Fant found the end zone. I like Kittle, but Kraft heavily involved. I know that they're getting healthy and they're going to be more options to throw the football to this week, but I still am in on Kraft. I think he finds the end zone. So wouldn't be tight end day if Kraft doesn't score. Also same for Kittle though, but tougher matchup against Houston for Kittle than it is for Tucker Kraft. Gil, Jalen Noel, or Schultz. Coin flip Gil, honestly. Like both of them, both heavily involved. Noel probably has a bigger splash play potential than Dalton Schultz does. Dalton Schultz is going to eat a little bit, so more PPR. Maybe if there's a tight end premium would lead me to Schultz over Noel. But I do like both. Really kind of whichever route you want to go, whether it's wide receiver or tight end. MSK start 2, Rome, Pickens, Judkins. So that would be probably Pickens and Judkins would be kind of where I go. Don't love the matchup for Judkins, but chance he finds the end zone. Rome potentially finds the end zone against Baltimore. They do give up a lot, but Baltimore's coming off the bye. I could see them. Rome's kind of fallen off the last few weeks. A little bit of a there with Rome. I lean to him finding the end zone this week, but I don't really. I prefer Pickens a little bit over him as a secondary option against Denver, and Judkins. Hard to sit him at this point in time. Your other 3 here between Tez, Franklin, Bourne, and Ao Manor and Noel would be Tez, Franklin, and Jalen Noel for me. Okay. How cooked is Quentin Johnston the rest of the season? I wouldn't say cooked. Kind of was always expected with Quentin Johnston. I had some people when he kind of started to explode, ask some questions, dynasty questions, stuff like that in the DMs. Same thing. He was going to level out. Is he arrived? Yes. That's kind of who he is. A little bit of a splash play type of guy. Going to have some runs here and there. Going to be hard to start, especially in an offense that has a lot of mouths to feed, air quotes. So honestly, with your waiver wires where they're probably at, David, probably your best option is just to hold him. If it's a shallower league and you got some good options out there on the waiver wire, he's expendable for sure. Josh, Hall or Judkins, Mason Taylor, Fannin, and Loveland. I'm going to go Breece Hall. I think the Jets are decimated at the wide receiver position. They are really going to have to rely a little bit on Mason Taylor. You've obviously got Justin Fields, who may just be running a lot of quarterback draws or quarterback powers, whatever. We're going to see a lot of Justin Fields potentially running the football today against Cincinnati. Also, one way to beat Cincinnati is run the football. We just saw the Steelers do that as well. Brees Hall, very effective at running the football north and south. So I think we can get Brees Hall going this week. And then same situation, Mason Taylor, Fannin, and Loveland. I'm probably going to go Fannin, just volume. The Patriots haven't been great against wide receivers, but they are decent against tight ends. But I do think that we see that kind of flip a little bit here now that Gonzalez is back, etc. So I think with Dylan Gabriel, they're going to have to get the ball out pretty quickly. I lean to Fannin, seeing a decent target share, so I would go with Fannin there. So Hall and Fannin. David, Woody Marks, and Krosky Merritt. I'm going Marks, like the spot for him in what should be a fairly close game. We saw him kind of get a little bit more usage than Chubb this last week against Seattle. Similarly kind of game script for me. I think that Marks has a decent day this week as well. Don't know too much more than you know, Chris, about London. I think he plays. I think that the Falcons need a win here. To kind of stay in the hunt involved in the NFC, and whether he's heavily used, that's the biggest question, I think. I would say he's probably going to play, probably doesn't see a huge target share, but probably can be effective with Kirk Cousins, more accurate thrower than Michael Penix. So I'm using him if I don't have anybody that's relatively close to like a top 20 type of option at wide receiver or flex, Chris. If that helps answer why your questions with Drake London. Albert, Marks, or Judkins. I'm going to go Judkins. I like Woody Marks. I do Albert, but I'm not. Marks is like my running back 24. Judkins is the top 12 option still, even in a tough matchup. So there's a chance Marks does outscore him. Always is. Always is a chance. But you're leaning towards trying to find what's the median likelihood of these things. That's really where you're looking. And I'm going to go with Judkins. Just a better play, I think, in my opinion. Gill, Shaheed, or Debo. I would go with Debo Samuel here coming back. You have Terry McLaurin back. I know it's Marcus Mariota, but I think he can throw it far enough to hit Debo Samuel. Also tend a little bit as kind of like the air quote secondary receiver. Should do a little bit better against Kansas City. Shane, Dak, or Caleb. Yeah, no problem, Shane. Thank you. That's what I'm here for. Always enjoy answering the questions, Shane. I like to help you all win fantasy football games. I do okay, but it's better when you guys win than me. I don't know. It's all right. I don't need to win. I'm not over here to puff my chest and say I was right or wrong or I had the best fantasy football record. It doesn't matter. As long as you guys are doing it, that's all that matters. My information helps you, Shane. That's all that matters. And I would roll with. It's tough with this one. You're in a situation that is very, very tough. Let me just double check where I got these guys ranked. I believe Caleb, yeah, they're back to back. So that's where it is. I'm probably going to go Caleb. I like him against Baltimore a little bit better than Dak against Denver. I think it's a closer game, Dak in Denver's game, especially with no Lamar anymore in Baltimore. So I think Caleb, though, is the answer. Swift has some injury stuff. Monangai will get a go, beat up secondary in Baltimore. I think Zay Flowers can have, or I think that not Zay Flowers, wrong side of the football. I think Odunze kind of gets a little bit right. You got DJ Moore, Luther Burden's kind of coming up a little bit. So I like spot for Caleb. I think he has a good day. So I would probably go with Caleb, a little softer matchup. You're welcome, Josh. Keller trade lad for Rome Odunze and Tucker Kraft. Sure, if you need a tight end, I guess. Rome and Ladder are fairly equal, so I feel like it's kind of like a free Tucker Kraft, kind of. David Bourne or one of the Texans wide receivers or Pitts. Washington, Austin, or Algier. Lots of questions there. I would go with Jalen Noel. If Drake London does minutes, maybe Kyle Pitts would be a play, probably. What's up, Reese? Otten, Njoku, Kincaid, or Schultz. All great options. I'm going to lead Dalton Kincaid, my highest ranked tight end of this group. I think he's involved pretty heavily here against Carolina. The secondary should be able to lock down the wide receivers pretty well. And I do think that Kincaid will kind of be the cog as well as James Cook that gets this Bills offense rolling here in week 8. You're welcome, Keller. Okay, those are all the questions that you have brought to me live at the moment. So we will roll back in to the start sit thread where we're behind a little bit. Try to get to these questions here. Timbo D, Great, Warren, or Dowdle. We will hit Jalen Warren. Mingo, Elvin Kamara, or Breece Hall. 100% Breece Hall. Like the spot, again, talked about it a little bit there earlier. Like spot against Cincinnati for him. Goes with Fraba, Diggs, or Dowdle. I will go Diggs. Cleveland's defense good. They have been a little bit weaker to the wide receiver position, though, especially scoring touchdowns. So I could see Diggs finding the end zone today. Lou Sasso on X, Pitts, or London or Loveland. I would go Kyle Pitts there. Perk Diggler, Keyshawn Butte, or Alec A.O. Manor. I will go A.O. Manor. Butte's been doing it. Again, though, I do like the Cleveland's been tough and not tough in the same aspects against the wide receivers. I don't like the spot for Butte. He's been kind of a low target volume, high efficiency type of player. Very boomer bust. I do think where I can like start Diggs because he has a little bit more volume consistency. So I would probably roll that way. A.O. Manor, again, volume consistency plus matchup there this week for A.O. Manor against Indy secondary. That's reeling a bit right now. Game script positive to A.O. Manor, likely having to throw the football a little bit more. Chris still thin at running back 2. Spears, Algier, or Monangai. I keep an eye. I want to see how the inactives go. And honestly, if you're probably going to be able to hear. I can't hear. I can just see what's on the screen. But see if there's anything that comes out on Swift as far as I may find something out as well between here and now, Chris. If there's anything that says Swift is a little limited, I would go with Monangai. Baltimore's been leaky again to running backs. There's a good chance that Monangai and Spears have a pretty decent, or Swift have a pretty decent day. I like Spears. I like Algier. I like all three of these. Algier's battling an injury, chances he doesn't even play anyways. But Miami's a prime matchup. So you have a tough situation here on your hands. But I do like Monangai if Swift is in any capacity limited, or they're talking about potentially having him in a pitch count or anything like that. I would go Kyle Monangai over the rest of these guys. We saw him have a really good day when he had some more touches here just recently. So I'm fine with Monangai, I think, there. David, were JT, Jacobs, Hall, JK, Marks, Bill. My receivers were CD, JSN, MHJ, Tet, traded Hall and JK for London, and Addison and picked up Evans, put on IR, and Ken Walker off waivers. Good trader. Nah. David, this start sit show. David, you kill me. No. I like it. Hall and JK, I mean, I like that. I feel like, with JT, and you're always starting JT, you're always starting Jacobs if they're both healthy. So I'm not going to mess around. Limits a little bit of your dilemmas of starting running backs. I like it. Mark's looking pretty solid as a fill-in type of guy. Bill, same thing. Now you're loaded at wide receiver. Also got Ken Walker. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a good move. A little bit of a shuffle, but I like it. I think that definitely helps the team. Definitely. Oh yeah, and the 3 wide receiver. I like that. CD, JSN, and London. Like, I mean, it's pretty legit. And then you can roll out Harrison, Tet, or Addison. That's a good group. Yeah, I'm hardly starting any of those running backs ever. I have some teams like that. I actually have a super flex team that's like second or third in a league and only has Aaron Rodgers as quarterback because I have like JSN, Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua. Like, it's a dynasty league. So, but yes, wide receivers can do a good thing for you. That's for sure. So Snake, Bourne or Tez Johnson. I would go Tez there. Full PPR starting Baker. Ranking say Bourne, but gut says Tez. Snake, yeah, go with the gut. It's Tez Johnson, boys and girls. Kendrick Bourne is it's a tough thing to rank Kendrick Bourne right now. So people are probably saying, I'm going to tell you the secret to rankings. A little bit safe. When you want to, you're trying to find that median average. You're looking at it. The rankings are more safer than they are aggressive for most people traditionally. Just going to say it. Just, a little insight. Denise Dubes or Debo Samuel. I will go Romeo Dubes. I know they're getting pieces back, but I still like Dubes as the primary receiver in that Packers offense. Rod West, Pitts, Otten, Schultz, Fannin at tight end this week. I'll go Kyle Pitts there for now. DGV, Juwan or Schultz or Mason. I'll go Dalton Schultz. Heavily targeted the last few weeks. No Nico Collins. San Francisco traditionally pretty tough against tight ends this year, but I think that the volume could maybe kind of nix that a little bit. DGV and close game. Likely both throwing pretty decently. So, Restaurant Guy Dom, what's up? How's it going? PPR Flex, Dylan Gabriel or Snoop Huntley. Anybody else? I guess Huntley. Bears secondary is decimated. That's all you need to know. Zay Flowers should be able to eat a little bit. If he can stretch the ball, Rashad Bateman likely sees it. Maybe Mark Andrews gets in the touchdown for tight end day. Maybe it's both Andrews and likely have a day. We'll see how it goes. But I would take Huntley over Gabriel there. Don't always have to start a quarterback, Dom. Got anybody else? Just mentioned I have a Superflex league that did have Burrow at one point until he got hurt, but I've been starting wide receivers in my Superflex and I ain't doing bad. I'll say that. Need a kicker, Loop, Prater, McPherson, Lutz, or Fairbairn. I'd go McPherson. Tried to get him in a couple spots this week. Was unsuccessful in my waiver claims. So, yeah, I like a spot against the Jets there. Brittany over on X, full PPR spot, Kittle, Odunze, or Diggs. I would go Kittle. Also have Ferguson in my 10 spot and Kittle being out, but I figured also Dowdle, Harvey, or Travion. I sneakily feel like this might be that Travion week when we finally everybody's giving up on him. But I'll go Rico Dowdle there for you, Brittany. Kittle and Dowdle. Billy on X, start 3, Tez, Troy Franklin, Bourne, Manor, Noel. That would be Tez, Troy, and Noel. X Buckley 17, 2 out of Javonte, Judkins, T. Higgins. That's a rough choice there. I'm going to have to sit my boy Quinshawn Judkins. Javonte and T. Higgins, 2 better spots there. Buckley 17. Bob Richardson, Flacco, or Jordan Love. I will go Love, Kyle Monangai, or Tony Pollard. I will go Monangai. There. Not huge on Tony Pollard today. Maybe he scores. I don't know. Doubt it. Tajay Spears feels like he's slowly taking over that backfield. Big Ten, Drake or Rome. I would go Rome. Dak or Caleb, I will go Caleb. Higgins or Waddle, I will go Higgins. Bills, Texans, Bears, defense, I will go Bills. I think that they have a pretty bounce back game, honestly. A little bit of hope as a fan, a little bit. I stay neutral, I swear. Cousins, Mariota, or Rattler would be Kirk Cousins. Worthy, Jennings, Franklin, or Algier. I will go Franklin. 2 players, FYI, that I've been heavily on this week, and hopefully I am correct for everybody's sake, my sake involved as well. Troy Franklin and Jalen Noel. If neither of those players have a good week, it's going to be bad. But yes, I think that both of them have a pretty strong week. Pick 2, Jalen Noel with Kirk and Nico out. Tez with Mike Evans out. Shakir versus the Panthers. Ooh, that's a little closer there. I will go Tez and Noel. Yeah, close. All very close for me there. Sage like Stoink. Sammy Geldamez, Taylor, or Fanning Jr. I'll go Mason Taylor. Kind of a coin flip there. I'm both ranked back to back. let's see here. Bets for us: Judkins or Sutton. In flex would be Cortland Sutton. Will Schwartz, Olave, or Devontae Smith would be Olave. McLaurin or Tet. McMillan, I will go Tet. Scattaboo, Judkins, or Chase Brown. Judkins and Scattaboo. Oh, not Scattabop. Scattaboo. Brent Worsling, London Pickens, or Pacheco. I'll go Pickens. I'm playing against McLaurin and Debo. 6-point pass downs. Do I start Mariota to counter or Fields? No, I'll play Fields. Can I ask a question? It never was an idea in my mind to counter wide receivers. So when you're looking at starts, it's just play the best players. I guess in theory, I get where the mindset is as far as their receivers, of course, a receiving touchdown. My quarterback's going to get 4 points, but typically the receivers, well, I guess this is 6. So it's like 6 and 6. So I guess it's like they get a touchdown. My quarterback has a touchdown. I guess I get that in a way. But like, I also don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna start Fields. Maybe someone can explain it to me better. Drop it in the comments, I guess. I mean, I understand the process. In my mind, I would prefer to just play the better player. So yeah. Tiff knows on X, better replacement for AJ Moore or Mims. That would be DJ Moore. Badgley or Santos, which I'm hoping was Moody. Yeah. We'll go Badgley. Love a good kicker question early in the morning. Nico New, half PPR, Fields or Cousins? I will go Fields. Steelers or Browns? I will go Cleveland. Take 2 Diggs, Chase Brown, or Donald. Brown and Diggs. Judy or Marvin Mims for Scott. I'll go Judy. Don't love the spot. Don't have him highly ranked, but don't really have Marvin Mims highly ranked either. Quinshawn or Alvin Kamara for H-Town. I will go Quinshawn Judkins. Which 2 for CA? Half PPR flex, Krosky, Pickens, Noel, or Golden. Well, Pickens is a lock, and then I'll go Noel. Gil grabbed Higgins off of waivers, but see Dotson or even one of Tennessee's wide receivers is available. Stay or pivot. Personally, I would prefer John Dotson. Not a big Jaden Higgins guy. I think Noel probably has a bigger day. Higgins is kind of like Xavier Hutchinson has kind of filled in for Nico Collins over Jaden Higgins. And we even kind of saw that in the game last week. So I'm not huge on Jaden Higgins. His role doesn't really expand when Nico misses. I think Noel without Kirk is the bigger play there. I also like Jahan Dotson. I mean, I don't know how this game goes. It might be more Saquon Barkley and just a ton of Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, but I'm thinking they're going to have a third receiver. I have Dotson potentially starting in a spot. I'm still deciding whether I really want to start him as opposed to some of the other players I have around him. So I don't mind going to Dotson. If you really believe in Higgins, I'm also fine with that. I don't think it's going to be Higgins. The Tennessee receivers, I would not. I'd just throw them out of that. It's really between Higgins and Dotson here, Gil. But I lean to Dotson a touch because I just don't believe in Higgins for sure. David dropping in. David's always good for the news, David. I'm always excited when you come. You're like my impromptu news anchor. You're my Adam Scheffner. But Drake London supposedly is out, according to Ian Rappaport for David. I have not had a chance to look and see if that is true, but David, I believe he's been right every single time. So looks like Drake London is out. Definitely a big bump for Pitts, Mooney, etc. Dovey, Judkins, or Brees Hall. I will go with Brees Hall there. Dovey, like the spot for him against Cincinnati today. I had mentioned that they want to start getting the run game more involved, so I'm all in for that there with Brees Hall. I will go with the Bears defense, Fabian. Dave Clark, Dak, or May. I will go with Dak Prescott. Derek seconding that Drake London is in fact out. Now we're looking for Ailman, Franklin, or Moody. I will go with, I think that was supposed to be Mooney, Derek, but I will go actually Franklin. I do like spot for Mooney, but as like the primary receiver, is Miami secondary. Yeah, I'll go. I'll go Troy Franklin. Still, I'm going to lean Franklin there, Derek. Mooney's interesting, though. So if you got the vibe, if you're leaning Mooney, I'm okay with it. But definitely sees a little bit of a bump there. Josh King, Ferguson, or Kittle. I will go Kittle. Start to Waddle, Pickens, Fannin. I will go Pickens and Waddle. Terry Woodkey, Shakir, or Flowers. I will go Flowers, Bill, or Harvey. I'm actually going to go Harvey there. I like the spot for him today. PPR, Warren, Kamara, or Marks. I will go Tyler Warren, or Jalen Warren, not Tyler. I'd still go Tyler Warren too. Porgy, Caleb, or Daniel Jones, and Woody Marks or Hubbard. So Caleb and Marks. Chase Brown or Tet would be Brown. William, Zay Flowers, Gainwell, or Chase Brown would be Flowers. Fernie, Chase Brown, or J.K. Dobbins. I will go J.K. J.K. or Jalen Warren, non-PPR. I will go J.K. Dobbins for you. Davis R. Sus on X. Pick 3 of Henry, Rashad White, Dobbins, Dowdle, Flowers. So Henry, White, Dobbins, and then pick 2, Henry, Scattaboo, Dowdle, Pittman. So Henry and Scattaboo. Judkins, McMillan, or Dowdle flex just opened up because of Drake. Judkins, Dovey. Tyler Hawk on X, Travion Henderson, Higgins, or Scary Terry. Pick 1. I will go Henderson. Patrick Hangler, Mariota, or Dalton. I will go Mariota. Michael on X had a stinker with Mason. Have Schultz in with Trey on bye. Marks, Mooney, Pierce, or Butte. We'll go Mooney there. Hurts or Drake. May for Joe. Casino on X. I will go with Jalen Hurts. Slim Reaper, Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle would be Jalen Warren. Diggs or Wandell. I will go Wandell. Franklin or Bill would be Franklin. There for your Slim Reaper. KVO on X, Huntley or Tua. I will go Huntley. Which 1 flex, 1 wide receiver, 2 running backs. Tet, Agubuka, Dobbs, McLaurin, Judkins, Chase Brown, and Swift. So we need Tet, Egbuka. Then Judkins and Brown. Slim Reaper, Fields, or Mariota would be Fields. Who sits Judkins, Dobbins, or White would be Judkins there. CA half PPR, starting running back Warren and Dobbins would be which flex? Pickens, Krosky, Merritt, Noel, or Golden. Pickens. Rank these four for PPR: Golden, Algier, Watson, Chubb, Gainwell, Hunt. Whoa. I would say Algier, Golden, Chubb, Watson, and then Schultz for you, Rich. Oh, and it's deleted. Of course it is. Gil, afraid to ask because I'm afraid the answer could be Fields. It's not Fields. Also, it's Dart. I do like Fields, but I would still start Jackson Dart over Fields there. So you're good. No worries. Ella, Bama on X, Caleb, or Jackson Dart would be Caleb Williams. T on X, Dowdle, or Swift. I will go with Swift. Juwan Johnson or Engram for a wall is Engram. Rattler or Fields for T-Rod would be Fields. And Woody Marks or Jalen Warren would be Jalen Warren. Dalton Schultz or Noel at flex. I will go Schultz. Ozen K, pick 3, Tet Pickens, Odunze, Dobbins. Ooh, that's a tough one. So Dobbins is in for sure. Pickens is in for sure. That's 2. And then I will go Odunze. Debating between Waddle and Mooney. If London is out, and Fannin and Schultz. Mooney and Schultz. So Avery, Chuba Hubbard, or Algier. I will go Hubbard. Mooney or Algier. We will go Mooney there for you, PJ. Survivor fan, Algier or Otten. I will go Kate Otten. We are starting to catch up. May or Mayfield would be Mayfield there. Wandell or Flowers would be Flowers. Whew. Here we go now. Second flex, Devontae Smith is in that spot right now. And that would be correct. Two questions from Cody. Half PPR, Woody Marks, DJ Moore. I will go Marks. And then Tua or Fields would be Fields. Let's see. Rich already answered that. My phone is not going back in my pocket. Fanatic Frenzy. Bench one of the following: Breece Hall, Dobbins, or Javonte Williams. I guess Dobbins. I guess. That's a really tough one. Simming Monangai or Chuba Hubbard. I will go Monangai there. Pitts or Kelsey. I'll go Kelsey. I get it, especially now with no London. Still though, lean Travis Kelsey a little bit. Still Kelsey. Luther Burden or Jalen Noel. Yeah, I will go Noel. R on X, Cousins, Mac Jones, or Huntley. I will go Cousins. Worthy, Schultz, Aomana, Fenner, and Jennings. I will go Schultz. Brandon Smith, Brees, or Rico. I will go Brees Hall. Michael, full PPR, Otten, Pitts, Schultz, Fannin, Andrews. I will go Andrews. Tez Johnson. That's all I need to hear. Dun, dun, dun. We got R. Jones. Hunt is active. Need one. Pacheco, Dowdle, Monangai. Thank you. Still leaning to Pacheco. Actually, I'd go Dowdle. I lied. Don't listen to me. Don't. Comes out of my mouth. Yes, if possible. Dun, 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 dun. Morning, Joe. Make my way around, Youth. People, I am catching up on the start sit thread, Joe. I think you had a question in earlier. Trying to get there. But either way, you got it here, so now you get it sooner. Evan Ingram, Mooney, Diggs, Kamara, Pacheco, pick 2. I like Darnell Mooney now. No Drake London. Got to throw to somebody, right? So I do like Darnell Mooney, and I would probably go Alvin Kamara would be the 2 there for me. Joe. OC Marks, Monangai, or Golden. I would go Woody Marks, OC. JT, Metcalf, Pollard, Ferguson. I would go DK. Matthew Golden, Tez Johnson for Gus. I will go Tez. Algier, Fannin, or Kincaid. I will go Kincaid. Cassim, no Lamar or Purdy. Do I start Mariota or Flacco? Flacco. Cole Baster on X, full PPR, start 1, Marks, Monangai, or Franklin. I would go Franklin. Billy, May, or Caleb. I will go Caleb. And then McLaurin, Fannin, Noel for my flex. I will go Noel. Space Ape, Pierce or Kendrick Bourne would be Pierce. Kamara or Chase Brown for Juan Garcia would be Kamara. So I gotta go Jennings or Kincaid. Kincaid. Not Tyler, Marks, or Mooney. I would go Mooney. I see the questions. I'll be with it in a second. Just trying to catch up on this thread. Chase Brown, Sketch, Vontae Swift, Stevens, and Dowdle. Which 3 I'm starting to lobby and flex. I need 2 running backs, 1 extra for flex. So we got Javonte, Brown, and Scat. Boo. Whoa, Scotty Boo. Okay. Emilio. Oh, see, no problem. Sorry. I hope you're here now. Woody Marks was my answer for you. I like the spot for him. Houston against Baltimore. Emilio, Mooney, or Shaheed. I would go Darnell Mooney. Both they likely have decent days. Mooney probably has more volume than Shaheed will. Goss Gordon now trying to be 7-9 team this week, so it's big. Laugh out loud. Hey, we're making a comeback, Gil. That's how it always works, right? Tony Pollard or Golden though is rough. I'd go Pollard just because we don't know on Golden right now, Gil. Unless you got another option for somebody to pivot to if Golden does in fact sit this tonight. Yeah, you got to go Tony Pollard. Two flex for Mark Mosa on X. Tet, DJ Moore, Matthew Golden, Tet, and DJ Moore. I hate when these aren't available anymore. Twitter. Okay. Grant Ellison, Dubes, or Chase Brown. That would be Brown for me. Grant. Oh my God, if I could type. Chuck Warner, Rodgers, or Cousins. I would go Rodgers. Tom pick 2, Tet, DK, Debo, Judkins, Tet, and Judkins. Robbie, Judy, Hubbard, Coleman, Downs need to fill a wide receiver and flex spot. I have Dowdle starting. Okay, so need a wide receiver and a flex. So I guess Judy, or actually Coleman and Downs. Jeff Fannin or Pitts would be Pitts. Ozzy, start Jennings, Diggs, Butte, McLaurin, Njoku, and Fannin, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Okay, so Jennings, Diggs, Butte, McLaurin, Njoku, Fannin, Diggs, McLaurin, 2 wide receivers, not 1 flex. I would go Fannin. Where are we at? Okay, here we go. Kincaid is active. Do we think so? I do think so. David, I think you'll be fine. I think Kincaid finds the end zone today. 100%. Not too worried. He sat out for a reason. I think he'll be okay. Swift, Emilio, it is Javonte over Swift for me. Ingram and Taylor aren't too bad pivots, David, but I'm still rolling Kincaid. Another super flex, 1 point. Start Huntley my super flex, or do I move CMC there and start someone else? Joe, same as earlier. I don't mind Huntley, Joe. I wouldn't mind though pivoting him for like Diggs or Pacheco if you wanted to. I feel like they're pretty similar in value as far as fantasy point production likely goes. Maybe a little bit higher upside, but Huntley is facing a Bears secondary that is pretty decimated. So good chance that Huntley actually has a decent day. So I'm fine starting Huntley, truthfully. Although the 1 point, actually, Joe, now the 1 point tight end premium, Evan Ingram could be interesting. That's a tough one, Joe. I think I still lean Huntley, though. I do. PPR flex, Downs, Franklin, Mooney, or Pollard. For Rob, I would probably go Mooney now with no Lamb for you there, Rob. Or not Lamb, London. Jeez, don't mind me. I was looking at this other tweet that I'm about to read off, which is Lamb, Pickens, and Olave. Which 2 for wide receiver would you use in third flex? Lamb, Pickens, or Olave would be Lamb. Diggs or Pittman Jr. I'll go Diggs. Kincaid or Pitts for Ryan Morris. I will go, Kincaid. Let's PPR league deciding between Debo, Pickens, and Olave would be Olave for me, Christian. Kincaid, Kittle, Judkins, have to say one of them. Which one? That would be Kincaid. For HP on X, MB, Diggs, or Mooney. PPR, I will go Mooney. Mims, Franklin, Butte with London out. I will go Franklin for you, Taylor. Timbo to great. Thanks. One more. 2 spots. I have to choose between 3 wide receivers. Odunze, Pickens, Mooney. I'm still sitting Mooney over those 2. Timbo to great. Aliva, Rashid, or Butte. I would go Shaheed. Kevin, Dubes, or Mooney. That I would go Darnell Mooney. I've been debating it all morning because I think they're just going to have Henry run, and they may, Joe. That's the issue that you're looking at. Like I said, I think a pivot from Huntley is not terrible. I feel like you're in line with me a little bit there that it may be Derrick Henry getting it going, but that secondary shot, I think Zay Flowers, and I think that Huntley may not have a high yardage total, but I do think there could be some touchdowns involved in there for Huntley. So again, the 1 point premium, though, does really make Evan Ingram interesting, Joe. I would potentially consider Ingram just because he's been highly targeted over the last few weeks. Good spot against Dallas. And like you said, I mean, there's a good chance it's just a Derrick Henry game for sure. Reset Wandell or Njoku. Wandell Robinson for your reset season. No problem there. That's pretty simple. JC Bill or drop Isaiah Davis and grab one of the Texans receivers. I mean, I would probably drop Davis and I would add Franklin personally and play him there for you, David. Angel, let's see here. Standard or start flex. Algier, Menengai, Bill, Leggett, Shakir, Butte, Tez, Johnson, Wandell, Robinson. I will go Wandell. Oh my goodness. Pick 2, PPR, Mooney, Dubes, Flowers, Love at quarterback. Flowers and Mooney. Christian, Noel, or Butte would be Noel. Thor, Mooney, or Dowdell. I will go Mooney. Wandell Robinson or Dubes would be Wandell. Stephon Diggs or Josh Downs would be Diggs. Kurt. Paula would be Hall or Henry. I will go Henry there. Jamie Ortiz, need one for my flex. Downs, Mooney, Moore, Troy Franklin. I will go Mooney. Noel or Njoku would be Noel. For D money. Dun, 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 dun. Radio dub mixtape, Dart or Dak Prescott, or Drake London or Drake May. Oh my god, I can't speak. That would be Dart. Bensky, Knicks or Dart, and Woody or Chase Brown would be Knicks and Woody. Tez or Burden would be Tez for Roger Wells. Tez or Dubes for SK would be Tez. Let's see, Rashard Smith, Justice Hills, or Isaiah Davis. I guess it's Rashard Smith, Eric. Start 2 full PPR, Franklin, Moore, Shakir. That would be Franklin and Shakir. Jerry on X, Kincaid or Otten would be Kincaid. Mariota or Cousins would be Cousins for Stewart on X. Andy Berkemer, Marks, Hubbard or Jennings would be Marks and Jennings. London is out. Adam play Downs, Alec Pierce, Jane Higgins, or Noel and half PPR. I would play Noel there, Jason. Hit Adam and play Joel. Jalen Noel. Jeez Louise, I can't speak. Let's see here. Kettle Dowdle. Need 2 half PPR. Chuba, Kincaid, Algier. Sit Chuba. Oh my goodness. I hate when this happens. My computer gets a little wonky on us a little bit. Partially into the show here. Chuba Hubbard. Let's see here. Mr. Nice Guy. Sutton. Judkins, Dowdell would have to be Sutton. Wideout, Leggett, Noel, or Mooney would be Mooney. Huntley or Mariota would be Huntley. Oh my goodness. What is going on right now? Okay. Sutton or Pickens would be Sutton for Zach. Noel or Aomanor would be Noel for Jack on X. Dr. Hall, Debo, or Worthy would be Debo Samuel for me, Dr. Hall. PPR, should I play Cade Otten or pick up Schultz, Fannin, or Njoku? I would just play Cade Otten. Eddie Cheerio or Cheetos. Sorry, Eddie, I don't know. That was butchered. Stroud or Love would be Jordan Love. DJ Love, Flacco, or Cousins would be Love as well, DJ. Alec Pierce, Kendrick Bourne for Greg would be Pierce. Mike, Mason Taylor, Fannin, or Slayton. 2 flex spots would be Taylor and I guess Slayton. Got to start 2. Krosky, Merritt, McLaurin, Isaiah Davis, JCM, and McLaurin there. For you, Zach. Ferguson or Judkins would be Judkins. Chicago or Houston defense would be Houston. Amanda Flacco or Dart would be Dart. Waggy, Dubes, Diggs, Tez for half PPR. Diggs. choose 2 with Pickens, but assume he has automatic digs. Figure lineup that might work. If I don't start Huntley, I could move Kittle to my superflex spot, so I could start Ingram, Mooney, and Diggs at PPR. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that, Joe. If you don't want to start Huntley, yeah, that would probably be my move as well. I agree. David, you're welcome. Thank you for co-seating with me, and yes, good luck to everyone, as well as David so nicely mentions. Dave, Dak, or Clark, or Dak or May would be Dak. Let's see here. Hunter Henry, Noel, or Alec Pierce would be Noel for Chinese fortune cookie. Tez, A.O. Manor, or Harvey would be Tez and A.O. Manor. Kyle Martin, choose 2. Brown, Rico, or Wandell would be Brown and Wandell. Kirk or Fields for Space Eagle would be Fields. Let's see here. Oil fans account, JK or Rico and Hubbard. JK would be my start. Kincaid or Ertz, Ridley or Dubes. So that'd be Kincaid, and the single loads would be Dubes. Lamon, Mooney, or Franklin. Alex has Chuba Hubbard or Troy Franklin. I would go Franklin. Sean has Jordan Love or Caleb Williams. I would go Caleb there, Sean. Whew. Okay. We are closing in. We're getting there, folks. We are getting close. Let's see where we're at here. Oh my goodness. Just verifying we got all the questions that I see here. B-Rad, Taylor, or Jawan Johnson would be Taylor. IG pick 2, Tracy Spears, Monungai, Marks, Algier. So I like Marks and Monungai there. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see, how high can we move Darnell Mooney? Okay. Where are we going? Where's my thing? Okay. Let's get back to it. Dun, dun, dun. Scrolling. Okay. Clifford, Mooney, or Waddle. I would go Mooney. Much easier matchup on the backside than it is for Miami against Atlanta. Steve-O, Dowdle, or Kamara. I will go Alvin Kamara there for you, Steve-O. Flops, Pitts. Oh my goodness. Flops, Pitts, or Kate Otten would be Pitts. Spencer, Grittsting, Baker, or May would be Baker. Waddle, Devontae Smith, T, or Dubes for wide receiver 2. So that would be Smith and Higgins. And then Kraft or Kincaid. Why aren't we moving? Would be Kraft. Ben Aaron, Flacco, Kirk, Huntley, Mac Jones, or Andy Dalton, or CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud would be my play there, Ben. Sunshine, pick 2, Javonte, Quinshawn, or Swift. Sit Swift. Daniel Jones, Franklin, or DJ Moore would be Franklin. Pick 2, Mason Taylor, Loveland, and Cousins would be Taylor and Cousins. Picked up Cousins, but with one in and out. Do you want to start him, Stroud, or Huntley? I'd start Stroud over Cousins there. Yeah, you can drop Marshawn Lloyd. Yeah, I don't think that's really happening for us, Gil, at the moment. Was a guy I had some spots in as well, but I dropped him a long time ago. Just it ain't happening. Let's see here. Someone random, would you Lazard, Bellinger, or Bateman? I will go Lazard. May or Love would be Love. Casey Pops, Flowers, or Mooney would be Flowers. Kobe H, Mooney, or Marks would be Mooney. Jay Sizzle, Knicks, or Dak? I would say Knicks. Fannin or Otten? I will go Kate Otten. Urza pick 2, Ramondre, T, and Worthy. So I'd go Mondre and T Higgins there. Urza also Mondre or Xavier Worthy. I would go Ramondre there. That one's deleted. Schultz or Kate Otten. I would go Schultz. Bob Sacramento, T. Higgins, or Tet McMillan. I will go T. Higgins. Johnny T. What is up? Pick 2, Metcalf, Pickens, or Judkins. I would sit Michael Pittman, Johnny. I'd go Metcalf and Judkins there for you. Carla, Pickens, or Metcalf, non-PPR. I will go Pickens. Jacob Schneekman, Shaheed, or Otten. I will go Otten. Daberstein, PPR, need a wide receiver and a flex. Golden, Chubb, Higgins, Butte, Brown. I guess Butte and Brown. Full point PPR, Mims or Jalen Noel for Peyton. I will go Noel. Cousins or Caleb Downs for Miguel. I will go Caleb Williams. Snake with London out, Bourne or Coleman. I will go Coleman. Start Waddle, Terry, or Ingram. For security and HC, I will go Ingram. Oh my goodness, what is going on? This computer. I'm just going to blame Twitter on my computer. Kevin, what's up? Swift, Dowdle, Rashad White, Scottaboo, and Chase Brown. Non-PPR. Pick 3. Rashad White's in for sure. 2 would be Chase Brown. And 3 would be Cam Scottaboo for me, Kevin. Like all 3 of them, I think all 3 could potentially find the end zone today. Nick Helm, Strickland, and Hurt, Butte, Dubes, or Tez. I will go Tez Johnson there for you, Nick. Sports Square writer, Knicks or Mahomes. I will go Patrick Mahomes. There, sir. Need one of Tez, DJ Moore, or Downs. Would be Tez for you, John Doe. Marshall Gray, Saquon versus DJ Moore. It's kind of sad when you think about it. But Saquon Barkley there for you, Marshall. Jennifer Anderson, another team I have Pollard and Chubb. Should I play Monungai? Also Spears and Algier on waivers. Play Higgins, Allen, and Hollywood Brown. Can pick up Mooney, Aomanor, Noel, Mims. Play Monungai and pick up Mooney. Let's see here. Johnny, we just got that one for you. Michigan Resistance Renaissance. Pick 2, Mooney, Franklin, Golden. Sit Golden. Come on, computer. Honestly, technology. Can't live with it, can't live without it, right? Ben Cleveland, standard scoring with 10-point rushing touchdowns. Need to sit 1 White, Warren Algier. How are you feeling following PPR for Jennifer Anderson again? McLaurin, Waddle, Tez. Also kicker Badgley, Fairborn. I would go Tez. Oh my God. And Fairbairn for you at kicker. HB with London out in PPR. Should I pick up Butte, Mooney, Shakir, Troy Franklin, Higgins, Aoman, or no? I would go Mooney. Need to choose 2 running backs for SRT 313. All my running backs are on bye. Mo, Debo, Dubes, Flowers. Need to start 2 Flowers and Debo. Jason, Tet, or Pittman would be Tet McMillan. Antonio, Wandell, or Khalil Shakir would be Wandell. Chris Clark, T. Higgins, or Odunze. I would have Odunze. Penix is out, Coffin's bye. Do I better pick up Dalton or start Mooney? Start Mooney, Al. Do not mess with Andy Dalton. Rex, Mooney, or Shakir. I would go Mooney. Wonder Bread, Butte, or Franklin. I would say that is Troy Franklin for me. Anthony Estrada, Wandell or Bill would be Wandell. DJ Moore or Isaiah Pacheco would be Pacheco for Baseball Fanatic on X. HB with London out. Should I pick up? Oh, I think we got you already. Dan Neglin. Need 2 full PPR. Mooney, Franklin, Mims, and or DJ Moore. Mooney and Franklin. Call for veteran Drake May or Caleb Williams. I would go Caleb. Flowers, Hollywood, McLaurin, or Mims need to start 3. Spike Nolan, Chase Brown, or Bill. I would start Brown. Dylan Argentino, Franklin, or Golden would be Franklin. Blake Dubes Marks or J. Corey Krosky Merritt would be Marks. Okay. Cool. My computer just said no. Alrighty. That's about all she wrote right now. Again, Start Sit Thread is thriving over on X. I will try to get to as many of the questions as I can. I think I have gotten to most of them. But if I don't get to it, again, just post it on there. Obviously, that's where most of the questions are coming from right now. Appreciate everybody that did tune in live. It's a little hard, I know. Sunday morning, tough time to get in here and hang out. I do appreciate it. Romeo, you're hopping in here quick. We'll get you a Kyle Pitts over Hunter Henry for sure, Romeo. 100%. You just beat the wire as well. Again, head on over ftnfantasy.com. Check out all our great content over there as well. Tons of stuff throughout the week, not just here on Sundays. And then obviously if you join, you can get access to Discord chat. We can talk some Dynasty. We can talk some rookie stuff. We can talk anything you really want. Redraft, whatever you want to talk about. We talk about it. It's over there. You can check it out for sure. So check that out as well. Toss me a follow at Popes FFH. Follow FTN Fantasy as well on X. YouTube, toss them the subscription there at FTN Fantasy as well. Helps us all out. As far as you, Sean, I would go I'd go Jawan Jennings over Marvin Mims for you, Sean. Gil, you are welcome. everybody else, good luck in your matchups. Again, if I did not get to your question or you missed something, again, just toss it back in the start sit thread. I will try to get to them. I'm going to work through some stuff here as we move through here towards the 1 o'clock kickoffs, and good luck to everybody. All right. Take care. Till next week. Have a good one.